Meridian because of banana grower John Zabaneh, who was sanctioned under the Kingpin Act 3 years ago. The cancellation of the contract led to the loss of jobs and a contraction of 25% of the industry. News 5's Isani Caetano has this report.
The banana industry, one of several agriculture-based commercial enterprises in southern Belize, is bracing itself for a serious hit. Irish multinational Fyffes, a fruit brand most closely associated with bananas, has pulled the plug on doing business with Meridian. The immediate impact is a loss of employment for over 800 farmers.
This is a surprise to all of we. We don't know for where this come from. That's why we're here to find out what's happening. No? But I've been working in Meridian Enterprise Limited for the past 32 years, from 1982. And I'm really surprised last week, Thursday the 15th, why then say I do not take another box of banana from Meridian Enterprise Limited. And all of we will, it's a surprise, and what I did is call the captain. My captain are telling no work because if you do not sell the banana, we cannot get money to pay uno.
In the wake of the abrupt termination and the resulting mass layoffs, the company is doing all that is possible to support its former staff, providing meals and other assistance. The effort, nonetheless, is simply not enough.
I know how with working, I know how with something for it, my family know how with money, I know how with money, and I have to, yes, we're not working, you know, and I want to work because my family, I need something for it.
As if Meridian wasn't already battling the effects of a recent drought, the sudden decision by Fyffes to cancel the existing contract with the company is a death knell.
There is no other recourse that was given to us. We had a sudden notice of no longer being able to purchase our bananas. So it's basically we're ripping off the contract, and our bananas are no longer being able to ship out. So we feel that it's an injustice to these people because we were unable to give them notice to prepare themselves. And these, as you can see, are the salt of the earth. And their finances are very tight, and right now as it stands we only owe them about 6 days of pay, which we should be able to pay them tomorrow, but 6 days of pay is not enough to uproot your families and move them to where you can find a job.
This afternoon, close to 1,000 protesters, men, women and children, descended on Big Creek, where a demonstration was being held. The consequence of the cancellation is far-reaching. According to Charles Zabaneh, the loss will be in the millions.
It's a big investment. You know, it's a really big investment, and it's millions of dollars, you know, for the social security, workers, everything, you know. So, yeah, it's really a big loss. And I just think that they should have given a notice, a 6 months or 5 months notice, that the people know where they could go, you know. It's really, really bad just to shut it down. They should have did it 3 years ago, but they're still working because they didn't want to work with Mayan King. So my mother put it in our next company, the Meridian, no? And they were working good. They were working good. And all of a sudden, you know, it's really, really bad. I really believe, right, Fyffes want to move out of this country.
The history of this rather difficult situation dates back to 2012, when the U.S. Treasury Department sanctioned banana grower John Zabaneh under the Kingpin Designation Act for alleged ties to Mexico's most powerful drug gang, the Sinaloa cartel.
3 years ago, the Americans put a Kingpin designation on Mr. John Zabaneh, as well as Mayan King Limited, which was at that time the managing company for the assets that actually belonged to Miss Myrtle Sharon, who happens to be Mr. John's mother. So at that time, it was a very critical point because honestly everyone was scared of what was going to happen, and everyone was paranoid as to what was going to happen. So But the curious thing is that even at that point where things were really hot, Fyffes did not pull out suddenly like this. They actually informed them that they were not going to be able to continue to buy their bananas, but they needed to put a plan in place that they would be able to sanction and continue doing business. But they did not interrupt the purchase of the bananas. They continued to take the bananas. They just said, look, put a plan in place. And that plan actually was in the form of Meridian Enterprise. A business partner of mine and I came down and we looked at the situation, and so we took over the management of the assets from Ms. Myrtle Sharon.
Businessman John Zabaneh told the media this afternoon that while he and his family can move on with their lives and their businesses, the impact will be felt on the economy as well as the employment sector.
I just want to make it very clear that I'm not out here to defend either Meridian, Mayan King, not even myself. I'm here on a compassionate support for these workers you see behind him. Most of them I know for so long, 30 or more years, down 10 years, and I have a feeling for these people. I have compassion for these people. For me, this is an emotional thing here. Just look at the kids. You know, this is not about me anymore. I have been used and misused and lashed by the media and by Fyffes and by everybody, by BJ. But the sufferers of all this is what you see behind us here.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
On Wednesday night, we brought